About two pages. Then I bid you goodbye. But may I, alam mo yung mga tao na dito sa cabinet ko, puro kilala ko to. Not just since bata pa kami. And I assure you that you have the best, brightest is Sunny. But kami mga, ako, 75, okay na. Pero you have Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdia. He's from Davao. When my father was governor of Davao, it's one big province noon. His father was the provincial fiscal. Eventually, he became a justice of the Supreme Court. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III, kababata ko talaga to. And since maliit pa kami, from grade 1, consistent to, valedictorian. But we share a common interest nung bata pa kami. Kasi yung tatay niya, mahal pa noon yung Playboy magazine. Magpunta kami doon sa Lagoon near our subdivision. And doon namin tignan yung mga center, yung pin-up. Memorize pa niya hanggang ngayon yung mga pangalan ng mga babae. Kasi good memory. He's really bright. Si Secretary Briones naman, I know her as a good public servant, the national treasurer, and she's a brilliant co-worker in government. Cesar Dulay, pati ito si Belo, kaharap kami sa dormitoryo. Ang roommate ko si Yasay. Ang magka-roommate, itong puro Ilocano to. Dulay is from Baguio, Bebot from Isabela. Ito yung mga lead basketball player namin noon sa dormitoryo. Pero sa awa ng Diyos, hirap na maglakad silang dalawa. Puro operasyon na lang. Bebot, I don't know what happened. Dulay, I think dito banda. Mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, may co-workers, mga kababayan. Hindi rin ako orator, si Sunny yan. He won the Voice of Democracy when we were high school. It used to be an American-funded mga program. Dalawa ang taga Davao nanalo. One was an Indian, but itong isa si Sunny. Nasabi naman nila lahat. Gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo na salamat po sa tulong ninyo sa akin. I am just an ordinary worker of government. Wala man akong credentials na pareho sa kanila na wala akong American education. Hanggang Pilipinas lang po ako. Pero ang tulong ninyo sa akin ang mas importante. It is not really my credentials, but maybe I can give you a commitment of good faith. Huwag na akong magyabang ng honesty. Lahat naman tayo fit to play. Pero noong estudyante pa kami, we knew each other and we used to measure the character from the other. Kaya kami nagsama ng matagal. It's because there were times sa pagsama namin na makikita mo yung karakter ng tao. So nagkakilala kami, became lawyers, and when I won, kinuha ko sila. kasi makatulong. So yan ang istorya lang namin. That's the long and short of our pagsasama. We were then friends, and we're still friends. And I knew then, as I know now, that I really can count on them to help me. Ito lang masasabi ko sa inyo. Ay yung kinulekta ninyo na pera para sa bayan, mapunta talaga sa bayan. Sigurado yan. Wala kayong marinig. I assure you that you will never hear a story about us going into transactions or yung mga overpriced. I will not allow it. I will never allow it. Yan lang kasi pagyabang ko sa tao. I've been mayor of Davao City for 23 years. One time I was a congressman, and one time ako yung vice mayor ng anak ko si Inday. Yung panahon na yung binugbog niya yung sheriff. That's my daughter. Ang maasahan ninyo, wala talaga. Nothing. You will never, ako honestly, I do not even have a number with, ito sila lahat. Wala akong yung tawag-tawag, sabihin na, you can tap all the wires in the world. You'll never hear me asking a favor for myself or for somebody. Wala kayong kuha, wala kayong makuha. I've never signed any voucher for any meal allowance. Ang kinukuha ko lang po dyan, sweldo lang. Tinitiis ko lang yan. Kulang kasi, well, now, medyo maluwang na. I think that, magkano yung sweldo ko? 200. Oh. Kasi dalawa ang pamilya ko eh. Yan ang problema dyan. Kaya wag kayong magsabi ang mga chismis na may babae. Kasi pag dagdagan ko pa ng isa yan, ang labas ko dito, graft and corruption talaga. Sigurado yan. Magpasok ka ng itong akin, dormitoryo mo lang. Ito noon. Taksi lang. Maghingi ng kutsi ka. Yung ito repossess, sabi ko wag na. Could only generate. So, alam ko, taksi ka na lang. Mag-date kami sa motel. Wala yung mga hotel. Ay, ito, prangkahan talaga. Totoo. Yun lang akin. Meron rin akong andyan para si Father Balatbat. Lahat na confessions ko sa kanya, kalahati noon puro bakak. Ang bakak, sinungaling. Kasi mahiya man ako magsabi ng totoo sa kanya. Kaibigan kami. We all have fit to play. Tao lang tayo. Pero dito, sinasabi ko, hindi lang sa inyo. Kaya sumasaludo ako because of the impressive performance of the BIR. The helm of BRI Commissioner. We're doing good. Ang ano lang sa atin is yung law and order. I pray to Allah that these things will pass as soon as possible. We're winding up there, but kung sana MI lang pati MN, we are still talking until now. Ang problema dito, yung mga extremists na homemade, na pasukan ng another extremist na mga ulol, itong ISIS. And pagka yan ang dami sa Mindanao, probably we will have a dismembered country. I'm warning you. At saka itong sa federalism seems to be a distant star sa taong Pilipino. Sabihin ko na lang rin sa inyo, and you remember me when all it will come to pass, at maalaala ninyo ako, if we do not reconfigure at least an arrangement where we can accommodate Armoro brothers in Mindanao. For historically, talagang nauna mo rin sila doon. They were the original natives of Mindanao converted to Islam. So sila yon. Long before Magellan landed dyan sa Leyte, almost all of the tribes in Mindanao, Islam na. So it was conquered by the Spaniards, no, rather subjugated, that's the word. They were only able to establish control sa periphery. But in the heartland, ngayon ng Central Mindanao, Lanao, no? And as a matter of fact, nobody set foot dyan sa hulo na yan. Walang Amerikano nakapunta dyan. And yet, because of the Treaty of Paris, ending the war between Spain and America, nasali yan. So, arbitrarily, I would say, but that is the reality. Kaya sabi ko sa mga kapatid kong mga Moro, you just have to take into account the reality on the ground now. Mas marami ang Kristiyanos dito, and I suppose, pag pinilit ninyo yan, there will be a bloodbath. And in control is the government of the Republic of the Philippines. Sabi ko sa kanila, mag-usap. So I am ready to talk to everybody. The huge expense that I have to, if there is a war, alam mo isang bullet ng M60, that's about 150 now. Imagine isang putok 150. Isang magazine could buy so many sacks of rice. Kaya it's a debilitating thing itong. So as much as possible, we have to talk. Now I am asking you to reconsider your paradigm about, because itong unitary type was the form set in place by the Spaniards when they were here. It's a unitary type, and everything is controlled in Imperial Manila. Kaya Imperial, kasi ako nakita na dyan, even the slightest movement, kaya magpunta kayo ng Amerika, kami, we have to go to Malacañang for this and that. You have to get rid of this thing, actually. Loosen up a bit and just give to the Moro people yung resources na kanila. If you have been to Lanao, my grandmother is from there. Kaganda ng Lake Lanao. Laki. It could sustain life for everybody in Mindanao. If this could be developed, then geared to a productive and the distribution is equal, I think that I can guarantee not really a prosperous, malayo pa yan. It could never come during my time. Maybe a little bit of comfort in life. Yan lang ang masasabi ko sa inyo. Because I need money and we have so many expenses to share with everybody, including gera dito. I have to go to fund the military. I have to reorganize the police. I need 20,000 new soldiers. It's depleted. At ang police, I would need about 10 battalions of SAC-trained to assure patahawakan mo talaga ang. I have to do all of these things, so I need really, but quite desperate to saan kukunin yung. I hate wars. Nobody wants it. Money goes out of, walang kakwinta-kwinta, patayan lang. But nandyan and it's all over the world. Baka nga, ito si Kim Jong-un, tarantado. You know, if that guy, I do not think that he is ready, but he's playing with dangerous toys. Yung buang na yan. Hindi mo kakumpiyansan yung mukha. Sabi parang mabait. Ang putang ina niya, ano pala? The maniac is magkamali ito, then the Far East will become an arid land. It must be stopped, itong nuclear war, because a limited confrontation and it blows up here. Sabihin ko siya, the fallout would deplete the soil, its resources, at ayaw ko kung anong mangyari sa atin. Wala na tayong matanim na productive and all of these things. So let us all pray to God na somehow itong gago na to, maano mo. But right now tayo, we're still suffering from poverty actually. Yung nakikita ko pupunta dito, yung mga stores na nasa sidewalk. Ako kaya yan ang masiguro ninyo. Lahat ng tao, mayaman o mahirap, yung elite, pati yung mga kumahawak ng lupa sa gobyerno, one is inquirer. Kung magsalita ang inquirer when they attack us in government, it is as if we are really a band of robbers out to yung sila, they have been holding the property for almost 50 years and they were able to negotiate. Pero wala na. There's no valid contract. We have to surrender it now because I need the money para gawaan ko. I can promise you, you have my word. This will be intended for the poor guys there. Paghanap ako ng lupa and build them something of the what you would call a home. Yan ang plano ko. Yan, lahat yan. They must return everything, including an accounting of how much they collected all these years when they are not. Abogado man tayo. Yung lease contract nag-expire. You continue to lease it, which is not yours, the property. Then you continue to collect. So what does that mean? It means swindling on a large scale because that is money that you should surrender. Magbayad ka doon sa BIR ng tama, doon sa may-ari ng lupa, then ito, and if I could prove, which I'm studying now, na yan ay economic sabotage, then I will file cases against them for economic sabotage. Then I will not allow bail. Makatikim rin sila ang mga mayaman for at once in their life makapasok sila ng prison. That is why I am very careful. Ayaw ko talaga I do not entertain yung kiusap ganon. Sabi ko, I do not even know the number of these guys. And I have never in my life, magtanong na kayo dyan sa intelligence so you can wiretap us. Wala ako ni minsan, since I became president, ni isa sa kanila, wala akong tinawagan. Tumawag ako kay Panero. But I was asking for a fashion kung anong isuot ko because he is the fashion guru of the God. What would be an appropriate thing if you are wearing diagrams or checkered or whatever? Siya magsabi, hindi bagay. Dito ka lang sa maong mo, corduroy. Yan lang ang bagay sa iyo. Pati barong. So, I will have to take his word for it. Yan lang mo. Totoo. And I am dead serious. Hindi ako maging ganun if I am not careful myself, babagsak rin ako. babagsak rin. Makikita ng mga military, pati polis na gano'n, na tapos sila, gano'n pa rin ang hirap sa buhay. Magkukudita yan. Especially if you do not take care of marami. There's a lot to be a rehab. I have lost so many soldiers and policemen. And I have to go into a long-term therapy sa tinamaan. 1,000 plus na yan sila. May isa pa akong sabihin sa inyo. I just like to discuss, pareho tayo gobyerno. Do not mind about speeches. I do not deliver speeches actually. I dialogue with my audience. Itong lowest bid, ito ang pinaka-source sa corruption. So, sinabi ko kila Drilon kagabi, kita man kami, kay sila Ping, sila Unasan, Chis Escudero, do something about this. Yung lowest bid, yun talaga ang pinaka-corrupt. Ang lowest bidder is a 1, 2, 3 guy. Pag manalo yan, it would be a miracle if you really get something of your money's worth that is really the appropriate price as the lowest bid. All yan done. I've been campaigning the entire length and breadth of the country. I have seen maglanding ako kasi parang basketball court. Only to find out, sabi ko, ano to? Sabi, ano yan, Mayor? Yung runway yan, hindi pa natapos. Tapos pinatignan ko doon sa record. Tapos na. Mayroon pa dito isang probinsya, criss-crossing ang highway. Parang may circumferential road. Lahat. Doon sa papel. Kung pinuntahan mo yung lugar, anak ng isang highway lang. This has to stop. This has to stop. It is not only bleeding, it's nag-hemorrhage ang taong bayan sa pera na nanakot. Kaya ako, since I really hit hard against corruption, I myself, I do not entertain yung mga patulong. Sorry, I am not really up to it now. Kasi talagang pag may amoy ako, yung asawa ko nga, my wife, mga taga-BIR Davao, reklamo yan kasi maraming koleksyon, may pahabol pa. Sabi ko, bayaran mo na. But she is also making good. Ganun lang yan, but she started itong donut when I was a congressman, and that would be around 1999, 1990. Wala ako, pag sabi kolekta, sabi ko, bayaran mo yan. Sumubra ko, bahala na. Eh ngayon, marami ng negosyo. Medyo mayaman, sabihin mo, a few millions in her pocket. Kasi marami na siyang donut, about 12, 13. Tapos lahat ng, hindi ka man mayaman niya, siyempre, asawa ka ng mayor. Magsabi ka doon sa mall na magpabili ka ng meat. Pero siyempre, accommodated ka ta. Wala namang corruption dyan. Kaya lang, pabibigyan ka talaga. Siya na ang may hawak ng baboy ngayon. Halos kanya na. So, hinayaan ko lang kasi bright eh. And she started her business even while she was an OFW. Asawa. Totoo yan. She was far away but she was running her donut. Babayad kami. Magkolekta kayo sobra, we will pay. So, sobrahan pa ninyo, sige lang. Pangatlong kolekta, sabi ko, putang ina, barilin mo na yung yawa na. Nakaw na ito. And ito to, we will abide. I will abide by all rules. Whatever. Kasi ayaw kong babalikan ako. Mabalikan mo ako ibang bagay. Sa totoo lang. Mabalikan mo ako. If you, may mga taga-Davao tanong, may risk back yan pero never sa pera. You know why? You know why? What? Yung Yung ombudsman, wala pa yan. There was a time the office was created known as the Tanod Bayan. If you remember, ako yung isa sa dalawa sa Mindanao na Tanod Bayan Special Prosecutor. At the same time, ako yung isang fiscal doon. So I had a dual task at the time. So I have prosecuted so many cases. Kaya magaling ako dyan sa dokumento yung how it is done, yung presentation ng documents. Kaya isip ko, kung ako ang kahirap na mabuhay na ito, once upon a time, we were there prosecuting people for graft and corruption, tapos ikaw na, that would be an irony in life that I must avoid even at the cost of my life. Pero itong sabi ko, hindi lang kasi nakinig silang iba. I made a solemn promise also na I want my city then. You know, yung iba katingin nila kasi sa akin, isang mayor lang na palagoy-lagoy kasi Davao eh. But in theory actually, and which is really my paradigm, I am there to serve. So when I became mayor, I said, nandyan pa, Dulay was working for Alsons, Bebot sila rin, Alcantara and Sons, Davao. Sunny owns the Marco Polo. May discount kayo lahat doon. Sabihin mo lang BIR ka. He owns the Marco Polo of Davao. Mayaman na talaga dati. May promise ako, sabi ko, I'm not, to myself, well, I am a mayor, but I am tasked to build a city. So from noon, kayo nakakita what Davao is now, then alam ninyo kung anong nangyari. But I said to everybody, I'm trying to, make the city tolerable to live in, even just to live. Sabi ko, start behaving and do not with me. So there was this sloganeering, I said, do not destroy my city because I will kill you. Do not do drugs in the city because you will drag the young people of my city into perdition. Do not deprive us of our mga anak namin kasi mahirap lang kami. Pagdating ng panahon, yung mga anak namin ang magbili sa amin ng lugaw to buy the medicines, pay for the hospitals, and minsan may mga lupa-lupa sinasangla pa just so that you would live. Yun ang burden ng buhay ng Pilipino. Saan kami papunta ko? Yung anak kong inaasahan, ginagawa mo na ng gago. Saan ako mag-asa ngayon? Lalo na yung mga OFW. Ang kanilang tatay nasa Kuwait, ang nanay nasa Saudi, they work their ass to death. Sometimes they are abused and raped with no recourse. They come home pregnant. They work back-breaking jobs para kumita lang, para mapadala ng pera dito sa Pilipinas, makapag-aral ang mga anak. Then you start to fuck things. Kaya ganon, sabi ko, do not destroy. I never said, I will kill you. I never said, I will order the police to kill you. My orders to the police and the military is to destroy the organization, the apparatus. If you happen to be there and you are a killable idiot there, pasensya ka. What I said is that, do not destroy my city because I will kill you. Ako. Do not destroy them with drugs because I will kill you. When I became president, Sinabi ko, lahat ng mayor, pinatawag ko 2 months ago. Sinira ko yung Malacanang. 3 batches dito. Arami ng mayor. Sinabi ko sa kanila, putang ina ninyo, huwag ninyo akong lukuhin. Papatayin ko kayo. Yung naniwala, ganon ang warning ko. As president, I will not allow myself to look stupid in front of the world and allow the country to degenerate into... Hindi ako not in my time at least. Huwag mong kumain sa akin yan. Sabi ko, protektado ko lahat ng pulis, pati military nagtatrabaho. Kung nagtatrabaho yan, kita mo namang depensa ko, utos yan eh. Destroy the apparatus. You cannot fight drugs just like an ordinary stabbing incident or mga gang war. Itong human rights. Sabi ko, biro lang naman yung I will abolish you. I need Congress to do that. Hindi nililecturean pa ako ng mga ulol. Hindi ko raw magawa yan. Alam ko. Yun naman kay biro ako kay ombudsman. Sinabi ko na huwag kayong mag-report kay ombudsman, patawag kayo. That was really an offshoot of a remark. A goaded people. God is in-imberna mo to kill people. I never said that. I said criminal. There is no law made here or in heaven which says you who cannot kill an idiot, a criminal, destroying your country and your people. Kaya ang warning ko, sa lahat, sabi ni Pinoy, parang walang nangyari. Sige, pumasok ka sa droga, Pinoy, pag hindi kita pinutulan ng ulo, buang ka. Ano walang nangyari? Gago ka mga generals mo, yung aid mo. Yung aid ni Rojas, puro na sa droga, konektado. Number 1 dyan, yung bata ninyo, si General Luot, isa pa yung ulol na yan. I mention his name, jury, pinatawag ko sila. Kaya kung nandito si Luot, putang ina mo, huwag mong takot-takutin, general ka. It binds everybody. And I am ready to face the consequences. If it means death, so be it. If it means going to prison, ang problema yan. All you have to do is to read. Wala mo rin akong problema sa lamok because hanggang ngayon, even if you go to Malacanang, nagmumuskitero talaga ako. So I can just rub my whatever part of my body. Sige lang ako basa. Basta yung ang sabi ko. Panahon ko, ayaw ko yan. So take note kayong mga kriminal, madali talaga kayong mamatay. Kasi kung nandiyan kayo, ako naman sa police, stricto ako. But if they are really there, fighting, kung magkakaso, then you can read in the newspaper how I would react. Naturalmente. Pag sinabi ko, destroy the apparatus, tapos sabihin na ito ang nangyari siya, nag-serve kami ng ano. You know, yung search warrant, yung binibira nila kaya that is really for convenience. Because a warrant of arrest can really be served any time of the day or night. Yung sabi, preferably on the night. But kung ang operation ng Shabu is not carried on during daytime because there is light, the police can go there anytime convenient for them to arrest. And I will stand by the police there. Wala naman nagtatransaksyon, nag-unload ng Shabu ng araw in public view. That's crazy. Okay, sumunod yan. I will answer for it. I will say I ordered it. Bakit din yung police who would be stupid enough to carry on a Shabu business? Daylight? Be crazy. Yung pagkaganon, huwag ka na lang magtrabaho. Tulog na lang kayo. You must at least give them at saka at the first sign of violence. Pagkaganon, patayin mo. Tama mo yung sinabi ni I would rather see dead criminals than puta, may pamilya rin ito. Ito sabihin mo may pamilya yung pinatay, mga pulis pala. Wala. Yan yung mahirap dyan because they look at criminals as itong human right, itong mga human right guys, they look at criminals if they are saints. Parang walang kasalanan na sumari na pinatay. Gago itong sa... Kaya masakit ang salita ko sa kanila. Ibubo eh. Kung gano'n kakabobo, paano matindihan trabaho ng pulis, trabaho ko? Corruption, gano'n rin. So that is my message. It might really be harsh, it may sound to you, but that is my character. Gano'n talaga ako, baski nung estudyante pa kami. And they would not apologize for me, but they know gano'n talaga ang bunganga ko. Even whenever sa law school, gano'n talaga ang bunganga ko. Kasi pag itong Pilipinas, pag hindi gano'n ang bunganga mo, ay puto. Pareho ka doon sa isa, yung sinundang ko. Dalawang pumunta dito. Walang ginawa. Never deliver ng extemporaneous. Sa amin yan, kaping. Nagkakapi. Reading. Malaala ko nga pala si pinakamabait. I don't know if he was really that strict. Si Ong. Dumaan ng BIR yun. Yun, mabait. Doon talaga mabait. I don't know about his performance, pero mabait yun. Kasi examination, gano'n kami ng libro. Tapos do not copy. This is an examination. Do not hold your... Do not, because this is an examination. Gano'n lang. Hindi ka kaya sinunduan kay Solidum. I will end my story. Hindi niya ma-pronounce yung Justice Solidum. Pakabagsik talaga noon. Ang ganyan. Ang ma-pronounce niya ang last syllable. Tindig rin ako. Tindig rin si Duterte. Si Villafuerte sa Bicol. Sa batingin siya na gano'n. Ay, God damn it, I only called Villafuerte. You are Duterte. You sit down. You. Sabi ko, sir, sorry sir, because I did not. Gano'n yan, Solidum. Sino ba duwa kay Solidum? Sir, I did not hear my name, sir. Because you're always talking at the back, God damn it. Come here. Kaya bunganga namin, God damn it. Ang basta pagkupo doon sa taas. Gano'n ako. Okay. Berapa sit down. You're aside. Stay here. In the front. Front na ako, gano'n na ako. Sabi niya, start to recite, God damn it. What? Sabi ko, sir, there's no question yet, sir. Sabi pa po. Ay, God damn it, Duterte. Do not scratch your dandruff in this room.
Leave it in your head that is the only one you have.
Kaya, graduate kami sa ano, di bunga nga ako, ganun rin.
God damn it, Duterte.
Yes, sir.
Because you are always talking at the back. Come here.
So, yun ang dinaanan namin. Ginagunan ko na, hindi naman ganun ka, ano, pero ganun style na, ano. It was the old school of thought and the old a generation that really was better, a lot better than I suppose. Maraming salamat po.